Good evening, Jacksonville, and happy Thanksgiving. It's Thursday night, and this is a Living in Jacksonville channel here in Florida, the official channel here on YouTube. And yes, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone today that is enjoying your family time and enjoying turkey and lots of good foods. I will have to say we definitely did not do the traditional route this year. We actually went out of town because my wife has the job, and because of Thanksgiving landing on a Thursday this year, we were able to take a little family trip out west to California. So not only did we travel on Thanksgiving, but we're also like 3 hours behind from that time zone. So I went ahead and decided to come on here live tonight. For those of you who can join me, great. If not, not a big deal. I want to do this will be a recording as well. So, but if you are able to join tonight and you already had the family gatherings, I have a pretty cool show prepared tonight. It's real stuff. It's stuff I'm dealing with like a lot at the end of the year right now. A lot of questions of people that have been sitting on the sidelines trying to decide whether or not they should buy. They've been waiting, they're renting, all kinds of different situations going on out there. And I've always said on all these videos, if you're a longtime watcher of this channel and seen previous videos, you might pick up on the fact that I always say the best time of year to buy a home, not sell a home, but buy a home is the day after Thanksgiving. And I say that not because it's Black Friday. I say that because everybody's with family. People are kind of, on vacation. They're full. They're not exactly out looking at houses. And so houses in particular, which I'm going to talk about tonight, that have been on the market already for a while, this is the best time of year to negotiate on a home that's been on the market for longer than average. Okay. And tonight I'm going to go over that. What is longer than average time on market here in St. Johns County, even so much so in Nocatee. I'm going to go over those numbers because if you see a home that is on the market longer than what's average days on market right now, and it is the day after Thanksgiving, just like Black Friday, this is the time to be strategic to negotiate a great deal on a home if you are in the position to do so. Not everybody's in the position to do so right now, but that's why it's a good time, because not everyone is able to are looking for homes in November. Not everybody's able to move in the fall. There a lot of things have to come together during that time for it to work. So it's an opportunity, and in particular at this time of year, it's more so an opportunity because it's after an election year. So everybody has been waiting before elections to buy. So the market traditionally, as I've shown in previous videos, if you watch previous videos that I had on live, traditionally the numbers have shown that numbers are lower before the elections during September, October, and then after the elections, things go back to normal, and people that have been waiting on the sidelines decide to get on with their life and move on. And so after this election, we've shown proof immediately the day after elections that consumer confidence was up tremendously. The stock market was up over 1,000 points, and we're seeing again a lot more calls than I have been back in September and October for people that are saying, hey, I've been renting a while, or hey, life happens, we're ready to make the move, we're not going to wait any longer, we're going to do it in December instead of waiting till summertime. So everybody's circumstances change, and a lot of people's confidence was boosted after the elections, and so we've seen an uptick in home purchases. Now, I'm certainly seeing a lot more people committing to new home construction purchases because there's so many massive incentives out there. But again, these are the questions that I'm getting a lot of right now. Okay, so a lot of you are asking me questions like this, for instance. how long will the current new home build incentives last? So we're seeing a lot of incentives from a lot of national builders right now that are offering massive incentives, okay? All kinds of different incentives, which I'll talk about a little bit tonight. And people are asking me, well, how long do you think those incentives will go on for? Okay, will it go on just through November? Will we see it at the end of December? What's that look like? I'll get into that. The second biggest question I'm getting right now is, what additional incentives can we negotiate above what the builder incentives are already offering? Okay. Going to answer a little bit of that too. Okay. That's the reason why you have a real estate professional, because I'm doing a heck of a lot of new home construction contracts right now as we speak. And I'm really being able to see what we're able to negotiate with all my different buyers. Okay. Especially with all the different buyers. Every buyer is different. Every circumstance is different, whether it's a spec home or a home that's going to be built. It makes a difference when you're negotiating. Okay, so that's another big question I'm getting. Another question is saying I'm getting from folks just like yourselves is, I'm reading online that folks are underwater and that I'm scared that the market will crash. What's your outlook on that? Okay, I can probably do a whole nother show on that question, but I will touch up on that a little bit tonight. And then finally, the other question I get commonly asked, because people are don't have their head in the sand and they're renting and their lease is ending in December and they really need a home. They're really wondering, hey, how much money do I need to put down on a new construction home if I'm going to build, right? So those are the four big questions that I'm getting asked over and over again. And again, so, it's cliche and you would think it's common sense, but we as humans have the herd mentality. We tend to do the things that other folks are doing because it's less scary, right? I mean, it's like my favorite old saying that Warren Buffett said, what is it? Be fearful when, be fearful when others are, greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. It's going against the grain, right? It's the psychology. I hope I got that right. So the reality is that those are the opportunities. Opportunistic people are looking for those times when is the best time to buy. And it's not easy to time the market, but with Black Friday at the end of the year, it's especially with new construction, you're going to see a lot of incentives at the end of the year. And so therefore, this is the time to take advantage of that, because fall is usually not the time when people are house shopping. It usually is in the spring. It's common sense, right? But still, all the calls will come flooding in around February. So although there are a lot of you right now that have been calling me and saying, hey, I want to be prepared for the spring. And then you're finding out, wait a minute, there are some serious incentives right now. And people are saying, maybe I should take advantage of this opportunity now, especially if it's new construction. I don't have to move now. There's some spec homes that I can get some really killer deals. And some of you are saying, okay, maybe I won't wait till spring. And maybe this is exactly the opportunity that I'm looking for. And they see the incentives and going, wow, that really does make a big difference. And there's also more opportunity and better lots as well. So I went ahead just for the fun of it, and I went ahead and just go ahead and just typed it in my little handy chat GPT, just so you can see kind of what the smart chat GPT has to say about this. So I put in there on there, I asked on there, why is Black Friday the best time to buy a house? And so ChatGPT says Black Friday is traditionally known for shopping deals on electronics, fashion, and other consumer goods, but there are a few reasons why it might be unexpectedly a good time to buy a house as well. So number one, very obvious, it's less competition. The home buying market tends to slow down around Thanksgiving with fewer buyers actively searching for homes. People are focused on the holidays, and the number of potential buyers decreases. With fewer people shopping for homes, you may face less competition and have more negotiating power. Absolutely common sense. Motivated sellers who are still on the market during this time of year may be more motivated to close a deal before the end of the year. They might be eager to finalize a sale for tax reasons or simply want to get their property off the market before the slower winter months. This could give you an opportunity to negotiate a better price. Again, that goes back to what I was saying also on resales. You've got to look at homes that are, their days on market have been over the average. So again, for example, in our market is still very hyper local focused, right? So I could tell you, just being here in Nocatee, the north end of Nocatee is completely different from the southern end of Nocatee. Homes on the market in the northern side of Nocatee are a lot less days on market than on the southern part, because there's a lot of new construction and new homes inventory down on the southern end of Nocatee. So you're going to see, if somebody's been on the market on a resale for over 60 days, well, they're going to be really motivated now going into these holidays, because now they're getting kind of worried, right? End of the year deals. Some sellers and real estate agents might find maybe offering promotions, discounts as part of end of the year deals to close out your strong. If you're working with a motivated seller, you might be able to strike a deal that's more favorable for you during peak home buying scenes like spring or summer. Definitely here in Florida, even though we don't have a winter per se, or snow. I would say that for sure the peak home buying season is definitely March, April, especially here in Northeast Florida. We're known for our schools, and so it's a lot of families as well thinking about making the move, purchasing in the spring and moving in the summertime. Tax benefits. If you close on a home before the end of the year, you may be able to take advantage of certain tax deductions like mortgage interest, property taxes, and other home-related expenses for that year. Closing by December 31st can help you maximize potential savings when you file your taxes. Interest rates can be lower. I don't know about that. I certainly see a lot of new construction. They're definitely buying rates down and paying for closing costs in new construction. That's why it's wildly popular right now. Seeing all these national builders with end of the year numbers, they're trying to make up for a slow pre-election season, a slow fall season, the slowest they've seen in a long time, which was September, October. Not only do we have high interest rates, but historically the market is always slower before an election. So people were waiting. So the builders are trying to make up those numbers by the year end right now by buying down interest rates and paying off your closing costs for you. So not so much seeing lower interest rates as we'd like to see and what we're expecting for the new year. At least it's below the 7s, in the 6s, but not as low as we'd like them to be. More time to move before the new year. Absolutely. If you're looking to get settled before the new year, buying a house during this period might give you enough time to complete the purchase, move in. If you're flexible, you might be able to negotiate a longer closing period and still get the keys by early January. Absolutely. I think a lot of people that are in situations where they're renting or they're relocating for a job or whatnot, they're able to get here by December. And if they have kiddos, get them in school by January. So it could be an opportunity, if you are able to sell quickly, whatever market you're coming from, that you can move straight from one home right in the other home. That's always the best case scenario, right? Real estate agents have more time to focus on you. Since it's typically a quieter season for agents, you might find they have more time to dedicate to help you find the right property, more personalized attention, special deals from real estate professionals eager to make a sale before the end of the year. Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the resales we're seeing also a little more incentives there, where they're offering concessions for buyers to buy down the rate. Like 2-1 buy downs are still very popular right now, which buys down the rate for a couple of years so that you can refinance in the next year or two. Availability of inventory. Inventory is generally lower in the winter, but you still might find some homes that have been on the market for a while and are priced more competitively. These properties may be ideal candidates for negotiation, especially if the seller is motivated to move quickly. Absolutely. This is more so here in Northeast Florida because we have that additional inventory of new construction homes. So especially spec homes, homes built on speculation, the builders are definitely wanting to unload any of those that are actually done before the end of the year. So that is 100% true. Online shopping and virtual tours. If you're looking to shop for homes virtually, Black Friday weekend also coincides with deals on tech, gadgets, online services. It can enhance your home search. Virtual home tours and digital tools may make it easier to narrow down your options without leaving your couch. Yeah, believe it or not, I am getting a lot of people, since we're so heavily, me and my team are so heavily involved with video. It's much easier now, especially if you're purchasing new construction, to speculate a lot, build a floor plan that you had your eye on for a long time and take advantage of those incentives and really not even have to visit the property. And believe it or not, a lot of people are doing that ever since COVID. That is not considered abnormal at all anymore. And then number 10, a less stressful experience, because it's not peak home buying season. You may find the process a bit less stressful. There's less urgency, fewer bidding wars, and you can take your time considering different properties before making a decision. Absolutely. I don't think it's a good idea anytime to purchase a home under stress. So it's definitely a buyer season right now. That is a great opportunity if you are in the market for upgrading, downgrading, or if you're renting, just fed up paying a high rent, to get into a home. So definitely better to be not under pressure. It says here, while Black Friday may not be universal best time for buying a house for the season above, it can certainly be a good time to get a great deal if you're strategic and prepared. Keep in mind the best time to buy always depends on your personal situation, financial readiness, and the local real estate market dynamics. Absolutely. And we're going to look at the real estate dynamics here in St. Johns County. Nocatee, I'll show you exactly what the numbers look like. Also, what you should be looking for on a resale. So I wrote in there, what is the time of year that national home buyers have the most incentives to attract buyers? Now, because Northeast Florida, we're very blessed here. We have a ton of new home inventory, more than anywhere else in Florida. And add that to the fact that Florida has been pounded by so many hurricanes, and we are not prone to hurricanes in this area. We also have a much lower home insurance rates than anywhere else in Florida, for most of Florida. Okay, so that means like Southeast Florida, Southwest Florida, where all the storms have hit, Fort Myers, Naples, up to the Tampa area, and then of course the Panhandle. So add that into it, and add the fact that we have a lot of new home construction inventory. I'd say we're probably a pretty hot market for Florida after Orlando, definitely being a big place that's attracting a lot of folks with new construction purchases down there. So national home buyers and builders tend to offer most incentives to attract buyers during specific times of year when the market slows down. They're eager to close deals. Here's periods when you're likely to see the best incentives and deals. So late fall, October through December. And again, add to the fact that we just got over an election, a lot of pent up demand of people that were waiting to purchase to see what would happen with the elections. So late fall, particularly October through December, is the best time for home buyers to find incentives. The real estate market typically slows down after the summer rush, and many sellers are motivated to close deals before the end of the year for tax reasons or personal reasons, like moving for a job. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of relocations for work as well, for sure. Incentives offered, I can talk about a little bit about that as well, since that was one of the questions that was posed to me. If you're just getting on here now, I'm talking about 4 questions I get all the time, and people are asking, what are the additional incentives I can negotiate above what builders are offering? And I will get to that. So price reduction, seller may be more willing to negotiate in price. Absolutely. If a house has been on the market more than the average days on market, they're definitely going to be very negotiable. Closing cost incentives, again, builders or sellers may be willing to do concessions or pay for your closing costs. And then upgrades. And I'm seeing a lot of builders doing upgrades that I haven't seen in a long time, folks. And that's genuinely honest, for sure. And those are things we're negotiating. And every builder is different. Some of them, depending on the house, how long it's been sitting in the market, if it's a spec, if it's still being built, that's dependent on the upgrades and the other options that you can negotiate, because they do not want to mess up their comps if they have future builds in that community. So you may not be able to get a lower price, but there are other things that you can get instead of them lowering the purchase price of the home. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. again, the free upgrades like appliances, landscaping, cash bonuses to entice buyers. Rate buy downs, of course, that's happening all over the place right now. You're seeing some really amazing options with flex cash up to $60,000. You can pay off your closing costs, buy down rates, do a lot of things with that kind of money. So yes, we're seeing that. And motivated sellers who are still in the market this late in the year are often more motivated to negotiate, and they want to close before the holiday season. Absolutely. I'm going to skip this because it says end of summer is also a good time to buy, August through September. Obviously, school starts for us in August. So certainly everybody wants to be in school and moved in the home by July. So definitely an option there. And then end of the year, which is what we just talked about. Home builders and sellers want to close as many deals as possible by December 31st for tax purposes. And that push can lead to some of the best deals for buyers. Both builders and sellers are motivated to finalize transactions. Again, more incentives, discounts, and promotions, upgrades, and add-ons help with financing. And then, of course, less competition, which is fantastic. Again, what drives incentives, market conditions, year-end goals, economic factors. Again, we're seeing a lot of builders trying to make up for a really slow fall because people were waiting to see what would happen with the elections. And so since we've seen consumer confidence up, we've definitely seen an uptick in sales. All obvious stuff here. Why these times of year work for buyers, less competition, motivated sellers, end of year urgency. So bottom line, best time of year for national home buyers to take advantage of incentives is generally the late fall, October through December, and the end of summer. Here, not so much end of summer, definitely in the fall. This year, I've seen more incentives than I ever have, and we're really being able to negotiate some great deals for our clients for sure. These are periods when competition is lower and sellers and builders are more willing to offer price reductions, upgrades, and help with closing costs to close deals before the end of the year. However, it's important to be ready to act quickly as inventory can be lower during these months, especially in certain markets. And we'll look into that as well. I'll go ahead and show you some of those numbers today as we get on MLS and look at some of the market numbers right now. So yeah, that is obvious, folks. It's end of year, it's Black Friday. A lot of you are not looking for houses. In fact, a lot of you are not even thinking about it. But those of you that are been waiting for that opportunity or whatnot, this is certainly the time now. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at, if you're looking for a resale, let me see if I can pull up the MLS here. I've got it on one screen. Let's see if I can get it on the other screen really quick. Too many monitors here. Let's see, let's remove this. Let's present. Okay, here we go. All right, so if you're looking for a resale, all right, what I'm talking about is you're looking for days on market, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I already kind of, let's see. All right, so I put a search in here for the Nocatee area, which is 32081 Ponte Vedra. Let's make sure you guys can see this on the screen. I want to make sure that, okay, so you can see this. All right, so let me get back to my screen. All right, so some of the common asks that I get calls for all the time is homes in St. Johns County in the Nocatee area. This is Ponte Vedra here, this circle here. At least 4 bedrooms, at least 2,300 square feet. And then, of course, not all of this Ponte Vedra area is considered Nocatee, so I add that it's a CDD community so that we only get Nocatee CDD communities. So usually I'll go ahead and put in there a certain area depending on what you're saying your needs are or where you want to be located. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 20-mile region here and pull up all active listings in that area. So again, in the 20-mile region, we only have, for that description, 2,200 square feet and up. We have 16 homes listed, which is not a lot. But again, you're going to look at homes that here, if you look on this column here, let's make sure you can see that. Yeah. So if you look at this column here, this one right here has been on the market for 152 days. Cumulative days on market this time around, it was relisted. It's been on the market 71 days. So this could be a great opportunity to negotiate because it's been on the market a while, right? This listed at $339 a square foot. Of course, 20 mile is a prevalent area for Nocatee. You're going to get a little bit of an older age home. If you check out some of my videos, I go into thorough detail of all the neighborhoods in 20 mile, so that you can get an idea of the ages of home. But this one's 2,500 square feet, a 4.3 with a lake view, and it's been on the market 152 days. So that's something you'd want to visit. This one also has been on the market 78 days, which is a little more than normal here, for sure. Now this one, it's only been on the market 7 days, so you're not going to see as much negotiating power there. This one here has been on the market for 47 days. That's pretty fair. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. 47 days on the market, and it's originally listed at 930,000, so no price decreases there. This one's only been on the market 13 days. This one's been on the market 112 days. So I would say anything over 45, 50 days, definitely something to look at. This one's $316 a square foot, so might be able to see a little negotiation. This one now has been on the market for 200 days, so, you know, definitely worth a look. But those are the kind of properties that you if you're looking at a resale in a particular area, that you can look at. And it doesn't hurt just to take a look at it and see, you know, what they're willing to do. What are they serious? Are they willing to negotiate? Can you negotiate, you know, some concessions to buy down the rate, to pay for closing costs? Those are the questions that you need to find out. And visit. This one's been on the market 80 days. So all options, anything over 50, 60, 70 days, those are definitely something to look at for negotiations, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the market overall. We know that if you're looking for a resale and it's been on the market for a while, over 45, 50, 60 days, it's worth a look, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at the market, and we'll talk about how hyper local it is here by, let's see, we're not seeing this screen. Let me remove here. Let me fix this. All right. Gotta find this screen because I got too many monitors here. Wait a minute here. Eventually, I'm going to get this right. I need to hire someone to do my tech on the background so I don't have to fiddle with this. Just had that other sheet. Just make sure you click share on the mod. Okay. Bear with me. I'm going to find it. There we go. Okay. All right. So here we go. These are the October market statistics. So I'm going to go ahead and start with all of St. Johns County. That's where we're at. And again, this is going back to how hyper local our market is. So For all of St. Johns County, and it varies from area to area, we're seeing from last year to now, we're seeing about a 0.8% increase in median sales price. So overall in St. Johns County, the median sale price is around the same or a jumped up only 0.8. Okay, on average, homes are supposed to increase about 2 to 3% because we've seen massive jumps in home median sale prices. We've seen things taper off, and again, we're roughly seeing 0.8 as opposed to last year's 1.9, which was normal. Again, everybody thinks the skies are falling, but we're actually going into a normal market, or we are in a normal market. Sales last year dipped down 3.9%. This year compared to last year, now we're down to 7.5% dip in closed sales. Days on market, they went up 34% from the year before. This year, days on market are up about 11.9%. So we're looking at 66 days on market. 66 days on market. So again, if you're looking at a resale and it's been on the market around 60, 66 days or over that, those are ripe for some pretty heavy negotiations as a buyer. There's something not right with that home where it's overpriced, or it may not be perfect for everyone, but it might be just fine for you that you're able to negotiate on it. List price received 97.1%, down 0.6%, not big jump on those numbers. Closed over list price. Okay, so in October last year, we were down negative 8.1%. This year, we're seeing 5.3%. That's very strange to see that, but still very possible here in St. Johns County. And then again, our sold price per square foot in St. Johns County overall is up 3.1% at $250 a square foot. So those numbers went up. New pendings, again, our inventory is a little bit better overall, but this does not account for a lot of the new construction, but we're seeing new pendings down 11.3%. And that means that we're not seeing as many homes go under construction. Not as bad as last year, 14%. This is negative 11%. But again, that doesn't account for people that are buying a lot of new construction. I specialize in new construction and selling a lot of new construction homes for sure. So I'm having a stellar year, better than last year for sure. New listings, finally saw some inventory last year. Things started coming back to normal, 11.5% uptick. This year, only seeing 3% uptick. And then active inventory. Last year, 40%, we saw inventory shoot up because we had no inventory here in St. Johns County. And now we're up 3% this year, 659 listings. And then, of course, the most important number is months of inventory is 5.1. And again, this does not include all the new construction inventory, which is making it harder for people in resales. If you have new construction homes that are being sold in your community and you're trying to do a resale, you have to be really competitive because you're competing against a brand new home. And then also the builders are offering massive incentives. So it's saying 5.1 months of supply, 6-7 months is a balanced market. And I would say we're there because this is not taking into consideration all the new construction either. So this is what I find interesting though. If I switch this is overall the full St. Johns County, but let's just say I go closer to the beach and I focus in my area. For instance, let's go to Nocatee, Nocatee North and South. So again, I think you've seen socials out there. People are saying, oh, we're seeing houses in Nocatee go below $700,000 for the first time since I don't know when the date was. And that is true. Yeah, you can buy a home in Nocatee now for under $700,000. It's about time because during COVID, you couldn't. And after COVID, you couldn't. Now you can. So that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So we're seeing the median sales price come back down to $715,000, which I still think is high. So it came down 16% because we were getting outrageous numbers before 2023 and 2022. That's when the market peaked, 2022. So people that bought in 2022, now this is one of the questions I received from someone saying, hey, I hear people are underwater. I'm scared. Will the market crash? Well, people that bought in the peak of 2022, if you saw here, the numbers dipped 19% median sales price. And then this year it dipped another 16%. Yeah, that was the peak of the market, 21 and 22. So definitely we're seeing a little bit of dip in the market to make pricing more affordable because we have more inventory. Okay. But we're also coming to a point where we have literally probably about a year to 2 years of new construction sales here in Nocatee, and then we're done. So again, I think if people can just hang on, I know life happens, but those folks that are experiencing where they bought at the peak and the prices have gone down, if they can hold on or rent, that's what I'm advising them to do. But otherwise, I believe the market's easily going to come back because, again, it's an inventory play, supply and demand. We still have new construction here in Nocatee, but it is coming to an end for sure, especially the larger homes with more square footage. Not a lot of opportunities at all left here in Nocatee. Closed sales, 63, we're up 61% from last year. Days on market, seeing 95 days now. That number is affected heavily by new construction. Some of the spec homes, new construction, they put the home on the MLS while the home is being built. So those numbers are not necessarily accurate for sure. And I'll show you the differences when you look at North Nocatee, where there is no new construction except for River Landing, and South Nocatee, where all the new construction is going on. So remember these numbers. List price received 98.1%. Closed over list 11.1%. It's down. Home affordability is going up, which is great. That's what I want to see. And then price per square foot has seen, and then again, this is an average around $295 a square foot. Still on the good areas of Nocatee and ideal properties, I would say anything around $311 to $330 a square foot is the what I'm seeing price wise. So new pendings down, sales are down again. October after an election, not a good time. So numbers are down. New listings also down 22%. Active inventory up 2.4%. We have 4 months of supply. Again, this is not including new construction. So again, it would be better if we had more options. And if you really got granular as far as sizes of homes, like we have a serious problem with larger lot homes. We just don't have a lot of options there. But again, let's go ahead and switch this a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at the north side of Nocatee, like the 20-mile region, as opposed to the south side of Nocatee, which is the Seabrook section. Let's go ahead and uncheck the south region and look how things change. So when you go up to the north side of Nocatee, your median sale price now jumps back up to $875,000. You're not seeing a lot of closed sales. Days on market are down to 13. You're seeing home affordability is still not very high, 31, and the price per square foot, like I said, is around $327 a square foot, which is kind of what I mentioned before. I'm seeing good homes, good lots, good area, location, seeing between $311 to $333 a square foot. New pendings 2, new listings 9, active inventory 28, months of supply of inventory 5.6. Again, not really astounding, wonderful numbers, and still you're limited. And so that's why a lot of people are heading to the south side of Nocatee, Seabrook, where you're dealing with new construction. And again, the new construction, you're seeing more motivated sellers. You're also seeing communities that people bought really high during the COVID days, like the Settlers Landing communities. You're seeing a lot more inventory there. So you're seeing the market being affected on the southern end of Nocatee quite differently. Median sale price is a lot lower, $715,000 a square foot. You're seeing more closed sales because people are taking advantage of those deals. Days on market, seeing it shoot up to 95. Okay, that's a huge difference. But again, that number is affected by builders that are putting speculative homes in the MLS that are still under construction. And so they appear to be longer days on market, but they're just not homes that are not finished. Listing price received 98.1, closed over listing 11.1%, home affordability 37. Still not that great. And then, of course, sold price per square foot, as you notice from north side of Nocatee, south side of Nocatee. North side, we saw $311 average price per square foot. Here it's down to $295, which I think is a great deal. Of course, it also deals with the age of the house, the finishes, and everything. So you have to be really careful when you're looking at price per square foot, because the finishes are what make all the difference. What's the flooring? What's the countertops? All that kind of stuff. So new pendings 39, new listings 71, active inventory 254, up 2.4%, and then month supply of inventory 4 months. I don't think that includes a lot of the new construction again. So I think we're more around 5-6 months, which is, I would say, more around 6 months if you don't include, if you include new construction, which is not on MLS and wouldn't reflect on these statistics. So I say we're getting into a balanced market, and you're having a lot of opportunities right now before the spring buying market. Okay, so these are the numbers we're seeing in the analytics. Nothing shocking here. We're not seeing, pricing drop down to, like, overall in St. Johns County, price per square foot is $250. Here, closer to the beach in Nocatee, we're seeing $295 to $333 a square foot. So big difference. Reason being is all of St. Johns has way more new construction down the road, like the Silverleaf master plan community. They're building for the next 10-15 years. They have 10-15,000 homes in the pipeline. So way more land out there to build. Here, not as much so. Nocatee is kind of coming to an end here. There's only so much land near the beach. So the numbers, supply and demand, that's going to be reflected for sure. So those are the numbers. Nothing eye-opening at all. I definitely think the opportunities are now, if you are in the market, and you have to really consider a few things. Location is more important than ever now. Second of all, like I've been tooting my horn for the last couple of years to anyone who's purchasing, I said, keep in mind, if you're purchasing now, have it with the mindset that you're going to be in this home for at least 3 to 5 more years. Because again, the construction will be over in this area, particularly when we're talking about Nocatee. Now, like a Silverleaf, where there's 10,000 homes in the pipeline to be built, that's going to be going on for the next 10 years. So, I mean, you have to really consider, if you're moving into an area like that, that you're not going to be moving anytime soon, because if you're going to resell, it's going to be really hard to sell competing with new construction. But in a Nocatee, for instance, where we expect building to probably wrap up here in Nocatee in the next couple years, then as long as you're good for 3 to 5 years, I think long-term you're going to be fine. It's all about the location. It's about the lot and what you're getting, right? So don't just settle or think, hey, I'm getting a deal. But if it's right for you and you know you're going to be in it for a long time and you can take advantage of a deal, then go for it. But by all means, it's really important. Location is better than anything. It's always about what you're paying for the home initially. So let me go over these questions again and then wrap it up here. It's Thursday night. I don't see many of you on. People are popping in and out. The Gators are playing the Knowles tonight. So I'm going to go jump in and look at that and see what's going on there with that rivalry, University of Florida and Florida State. But if you have any questions or whatnot and you're watching this and recording, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm an open book. I'll certainly respond to you. And also, I always love to hear where you're watching from. So if you watch this in a recording, make sure you go ahead and include in the comments where you're watching from. And of course, if you're watching my videos and recording and all the time, make sure you subscribe as well. All right, so the big questions, let's wrap this up. How long will the current new home builder incentives last? Okay, so new home builder incentives be amazing right now. Again, Black Friday, best time to buy, but I think those will continue to the end of the year. Okay. Builder incentives come and go based on the sales. So if they are selling a lot of homes and their inventory goes down, then they may pull back on some of the incentives, or they may not be as negotiable as I have been seeing in the last week or two. Okay. And we are in November 28th for those of you watching this and recording. So I think that most of these incentives will be through to the end of the year. And then I say the second best time to buy for me in this area, besides the day after Thanksgiving, when everybody's full with turkey, is the day after New Year's, because again, it's the builders are giving New Year incentives at the beginning of the year, right after Christmas, after the holidays. People are broke; they're not looking to buy a house. School starts up again, so that is also, I find, a very good time to negotiate on a new home. Is in January 1, January 2. People are still on vacation, so great time to negotiate a resale as well as January. So you will see the greatest incentives between now and the end of the year. And then, of course, in January, you'll still see a little bit, but then at the end of January, February, you'll start seeing those incentives go away. So I hope that answers your question. What additional incentives can we negotiate above what the builders are offering? So I'm seeing all kinds of different incentives depending on the builder, right? So we're seeing flex cash. Flex cash means you can use the money the builder's allotting to you to buy down the rate. You can use it to pay down your closing costs, which you as the buyer in new construction are incurring all the closing costs. Most of the closing costs, the builder pass that on to you as the buyer, not the same in a resale. So your closing costs will be very high. So that's a big chunk of change in savings. People are using it to buy down the rate, pay the closing costs. And then also, if they're building a new home, they're using it as flex spending to purchase the finishes in design center. So you can spend a lot of money in design center. So having additional flex cash to spend for flooring and finishes is a big help as well. So those are the things I'm seeing. Now, I am seeing in some cases where we're able to negotiate a few extra dollars in that incentive money. And that is usually in the design center, or we're seeing it where we're able to negotiate fences, appliances, shrubbery. If it's, and again, these are all in particular cases. If it's a lot that backs up to another home, or it's a lot that backs up to a street or whatever. These are the circumstances where you can negotiate those extra things. So that's some of the things I'm seeing. But again, I can tell you from builder to builder, because we've been negotiating a lot of different incentives depending on the builder in the lot, in the home. Of course, it makes a big difference if the home is finished, because the builder wants to get that off their books. So it's costing them money. So they're more prone to negotiate. But I'm also seeing builders that have spec homes that are not going to be ready for a few months. They're still negotiating on those as well. I'm not seeing that in a long time. So that is also becoming an opportunity as well. So yeah, if you want to know specifically based on your needs, what kind of incentives you're seeing, give me a call. I can certainly, get a little more granular on that based on all the transactions we're seeing. We've done a lot of new home sales this month based on all these incentives from the different builders. I'm reading online folks are underwater. I'm scared the market will crash. Again, I'll go back to what the numbers are showing. 2021, 22 was the peak. And certainly during COVID, there was a lack of inventory. People overpaid or paid at the higher end of the market. I think that pricing will come back. And tell people, if you're in that, if you're at that price point, then, this is not the time to sell. I think the market will come back after we have no more new home inventory, new construction here anymore. I think our land is valuable. We're close to the beach. So I think if you can hold out, you'll be fine. And if you can rent, that's a better option. But as far as the future goes, as I've always said, and I'll continue to say, you should be buying with the mindset that you're going to be in this home for the next 3 to 5 years for sure. As far as crashing, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if you compare to 2007, 8, and 9, you can't, because that was the mortgage-backed securities. The banks failed us. They were not properly qualifying folks. So that was a different scenario. I think consumer confidence is up. We've seen a massive uptick in our team sales this last 2-3 weeks due to the incentives and due to the consumer confidence since the results of the election. So I don't see it in my industry, and I'm heavily involved with lots of coaching and whatnot. That's part of what I was doing out in California, talking to the experts that have been in the industry for decades. We're expecting rates to go down in the next year. We're told that we have a massive shortage of homes in this country. And I do have a lot of people that are renting and been waiting 2-3 years to buy a home. And so they're coming out of the woodworks now. So I'm pretty confident for next year. I'm even told, believe it or not, that beware, be prepared, get your team in order, because it's going to be a crazy 2025. And so I've had a tremendously busy 2024 with new home construction here in Florida. The rest of Florida was affected by hurricanes. So not only have we drawn a lot of out-of-state people, but we've drawn a lot of people within Florida moving here because our home insurance is so much cheaper. So I've had a crazy 2024, about 33% increase in business last year. So, and I'm told that I better be prepared that 2025 is going to be crazier. So I don't have a crystal ball, so I'm not terribly worried about it. And, we've been looking at investment properties and potentially buying another property ourselves since we're investors, my wife and I. So we're looking for those opportunities right now heavily. So I'm not concerned about the future, but I always say, hey, look, if you're going to buy your dream home, plan to be there for 3 to 5 years. So not worried about that. But again, I would never advise anybody to purchase a home if you're not qualified, if you don't have a steady income. You have to be pre-qualified. Do not put yourself in any precarious position. I would never want anyone to do that. Even if it's a good deal, if you're not pre-qualified for it, do not put yourself in that kind of precarious situation. How much money do I need to put down on a new construction home? Okay, so most of the builders are requiring at least 5%. So if you decide you want to purchase a new construction home, in 3 days, they're going to put a contract together for you, and they're going to require you to put some skin in the game and put at least 5% down. Most of them want 7 to 10% at a certain point in time if they want as much skin in the game as possible, but at least 5% to put down, and then up to 7 or 10% depending on the builder is what the down payments I'm seeing for new construction homes. So, all right, folks, I know it's Thanksgiving night. I'm crazy, but I wanted to go ahead and get this out there because this is Black Friday tomorrow. I'm seeing massive incentives, some great opportunities out there right now. We're actually working through 3 or 4 new construction contracts as we speak, and negotiating very heavy. Slow and steady is what I like to say. So if you're thinking about making the move to the area and you should have representation. It costs you nothing to have representation if you're doing a new build. And so I tell you that it's certainly worth the value to have somebody that's has a relationship with the builders. The builder representatives, salespeople work for the builder, and they are not going to advocate on your behalf. They're going to advocate on the builder first and foremost, and it is a very tricky business. So make sure you hire a real estate professional to guide you through the process. It costs you nothing. We do also offer, as part of our services, we're offering the pre-drywall inspection, the final inspection, and then finally, of course, the design center visits. We have a design center person as well to accompany you through that process. So all those things are included in our services. Don't go it alone. Have someone help you through that process. So it's going to be stressful, but a little less stressful. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. There's tons of videos every week. I try to put out a video every Tuesday, as well as try to do these lives on Thursdays. If you have any additional questions, put it in the comments and I will certainly address it on the next show. Anything you guys want to hear, any topics, please let me know and I will certainly address it. My name is Greg DiTullio. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.